Within every breath, within every cell, lies a silent scripture. The body is not merely flesh and bone, but a radiant city of light, where every thought is a command, every word a vibration, every mental image a seed that reshapes matter. From the gospel written in your cells to the sacred rituals of co-creation with the planet, you will discover that the power of healing has never been distant. It has always dwelled within you, waiting to be awakened. This is a 16-part journey that carries you from the microscopic world of genes, dreams, the heart, and the imagination to the vast dimensions of environment, society, and Earth itself. Each part is a doorway where science and spirit converge, where the laws of mind stand, revealed as natural laws, leading you back to the very center of your being. Preface. The gospel of the cells within your body, there unfolds a majestic and silent life, an invisible city made up of trillions of cells, each cell a miniature temple containing wisdom and energy. Together they form a microcosmic community governed by immutable laws, awaiting the right signal to awaken the vast power seated within you from the moment of birth. This is not merely the mystery of biology. It is a revelation of truth you must recognize. The body is not a random mass of matter. It is a living scripture, rewriting each day the story of your life. Cells do not understand lengthy explanations. They respond to a language pure and clear. Thoughts infused with faith, words released with love, images nourished by absolute certainty. When you release a thought that is pure and filled with trust, it passes through the conscious layer, touches the subconscious, and from there becomes a command for your entire biological system. A single positive statement, when spoken from the heart, does not merely soothe your spirit. It penetrates to the very strands of your DNA, recalibrates the rhythm of the body, and reawakens the original powers of self-healing. Healing is not an unexpected miracle from without, but the unfolding of natural law inscribed into every cell. Imagine your body as a vast orchestra, each cell an instrument, and your mind the conductor. When the conductor falters, the sound becomes chaotic, and disorder follows in the body. But when the conductor transmits the melody of faith and order, the whole orchestra returns to harmony, producing the symphony of health and vitality. Many believe that disease is an attack from outside, yet, in truth, illness is the body's cry for help when its inner music has lost its rhythm, and it is precisely there that healing begins, not from the first medicine, but from the spiritual signal you send into your own being. Every day you are already issuing commands, though mostly unconsciously. A complaint such as "I am so tired, I am so weak," is in fact a negative decree that the cells receive and obey. On the other hand, an affirmation such as "I am full of life, I am recovering, I am strong," becomes the directive that lifts the cells back into order. This is not self-deception. It is the training of your body to remember its primal pattern of wholeness. The miracle is not distant. It is woven into the ordinary processes of life. Consider a small wound. You need not consciously command the healing, yet the body knows how to draw new skin, to mend the blood vessels, to regenerate the tissue. This is proof that within your body dwells a higher intelligence, awaiting your cooperation. When you breathe into it images of health, words of love, thoughts of trust, healing does not only happen naturally, it unfolds more swiftly and more completely. A city collapses without leadership. A body weakens when the mind abandons its authority. You are the ruler, the sovereign issuing decrees to the nation called your body, and every decree is carried out without hesitation. The body does not argue. It does not resist. It only obeys. This is the realm where belief becomes law, If you believe in decline, the body will descend. If you believe in inner power, the body will rise again. A thought filled with faith is like an unseen current. A word is the switch, and the mental image is the lamp. When all three align, light bursts forth in every cell. Modern science calls this biochemical, neurological, and genetic signaling. Joseph Murphy called it the law of mind. Both are pointing to the same truth. You are the architect of your state of health. Pause and behold this truth. Every thought repeated is a seed. Seeds planted in the soil of the subconscious take root in emotion and blossom into physiological response. Sow seeds of fear and you will reap disorder. Sow seeds of peace and you will harvest restoration. There are no exceptions, for this law shows no partiality. It operates for anyone who knows how to use it. Mental imagery is the mightiest of all, for it provides the script for the body. One who imagines themselves healthy, happy, radiant is rewriting the script that the cells will enact. Research has shown the brain does not distinguish between an actual experience and one vividly imagined with strong emotion. When you see yourself in the light of healing, the body begins to operate as though it were already done. This is not illusion. It is the cooperation of mind and biology. We often seek miracles outside, but the greatest miracle has always been within. Your body is not a silent mass of matter. It is a living community, a cathedral awaiting your prayer. And prayer is not mere supplication, but a bold affirmation that wholeness already resides within you. When such a word is spoken with conviction, the body obeys. The cells reactivate the original blueprint of life's perfection. The healing law of consciousness is impartial, choosing neither one person nor another. It is like the sun shining upon all who open themselves to receive. The only question is whether you open to the light of faith or close yourself within the shadows of fear. Each day you are given the chance to choose anew, to issue a fresh decree, and from these choices, your body constructs the future of health and wholeness. This is the gospel of the cells, not ancient pages from afar, but the living scripture unfolding in every heartbeat, every breath, every thought. You need not search elsewhere. You need only to listen, to declare, to imagine, and to believe with certainty. Your body is the temple, your thought, the prayer, your inner image, the revelation. And when the three unite as one, healing becomes reality as natural as the breaking dawn. The principle of correspondence, body and environment. Your body is never separate from the place you dwell. Just as no cell can be apart from the body, your house, your room, your office are not merely shelters. They are extensions of yourself. Every wall, every object, every corner of space records the vibration you release. If the body is a city of cells, then the home is the great cell surrounding you, where every word spoken and every emotion felt leaves its imprint. And from these imprints, your health and your spirit are either sustained or depleted. Consider this. Have you ever stepped into a room and suddenly felt heavy, weary, without knowing why, or entered a place where the moment you arrived you felt lighter, at peace? This is no accident, but the atmosphere of vibration left behind by human presence. Just as each cell remembers the state of your mind, your living space remembers the emotions you have released. A home filled with quarrels, worries, and complaints retains the echo of those energies within its walls, its floors, its very furniture. In contrast, a home continually blessed with gratitude and uplifted with positive vision becomes a sanctuary of renewal, support, and healing. Someone once shared with me that whenever he stayed inside his house, he suffered from headaches, and shortness of breath. Yet the moment he stepped outside, he felt relief. The answer was clear. His house had become saturated with the negative energy he himself had projected. The walls held memory like invisible phonograph records, replaying the tones of anxiety, bitterness, and anger. This affected not only his moods, but also his biology. For body and environment both operate under the same law. The law of correspondence, as within, so without. The environment is a mirror reflecting the mind, and the mind gazing into that mirror is in turn influenced back. A cycle is formed. If you would change your health, you must not only tend the body, but also purify and bless the very house in which you live. Modern science names this vibrational resonance. Quantum physics shows that particles, even when separated, still affect one another if they share the same frequency. Your house is in resonance with your body. If your home vibrates with fear, your cells shrink. If your home vibrates with peace, your cells expand into regeneration. This is no vague philosophy, but an evident law of operation. So how do you restore harmony? The answer is simple, yet powerful. Bless your home. Transform the place you live into a sanctuary where every object is infused with light and prayer for 7 consecutive days. Each morning before beginning your work, stand at the center of your dwelling, close your eyes, and envision a stream of white light flowing from your heart, flooding every corner. Then declare aloud with clarity and strength, this is sacred space. Here there is only health, peace, and divine order. Every wall, every object, every corner vibrates with the light of the Creator. Repeat this in every room if you can. Speak to your table with gratitude for supporting you. Thank your bed for granting you rest. Affirm each object as a companion. In this process, you are not only arranging your environment, you are sending signals of peace to every cell of your body. You will witness the miracle unfold. The air becomes lighter, the mind clearer, the sleep deeper, and the body responds like a tree refreshed with water, restoring itself little by little. This is the principle of correspondence. When the inner changes, the outer follows. When the outer is blessed, the inner revives. Now I ask you, as you hear these words, what do you feel about your home? Your room, the space where you now sit, is it nourishing you or draining you? Does it echo joy, or does it still hold the shadows of the past? Answer honestly, for this is the true measure of your inner state. And remember always, you hold the power to renew your environment. Thank you for listening and for being fully present in this part. Your attentive listening is itself a blessing not only for yourself, but for the very space surrounding you in this moment. The invisible inheritance in epigenetics, there are things you inherit from your lineage that the eye cannot see, not only the color of your eyes, the shape of your body, or certain health traits, but also the invisible commands preserved in the collective subconscious of your family. These may be recurring fears, limiting beliefs, or emotional wounds, never healed. They flow like hidden currents through generations, seeping into flesh and blood, waiting for an opportunity to rise into your life. Science calls this epigenetics, the power of genes to switch on or off, not determined by the fixed structure of DNA, but by signals of environment and emotion. And the greatest environment of all is not out there, but within the state of mind you carry. There was once a woman who believed her destiny had already been sealed. Her mother had died of lupus, her grandmother as well, and now she too had been diagnosed. She thought her biological sentence had locked her life beyond escape. Yet the truth did not lie in her genes, but in an unconscious command being repeated. What was inherited was not the disease itself, but the resentment and bitterness that 3 generations of women had harbored in their hearts. When she understood this, when she began to forgive the men in her family, when she chose release rather than imprisonment of her emotions, her body began to change. Healing came not from denying reality, but from dissolving the old command and installing a new one. Many studies have shown that trauma can inscribe itself upon genes and be passed down through generations. Mice conditioned to fear a certain scent transmitted that fear to their offspring, even though the young had never experienced the original trauma. Human beings are no different. If your grandparents lived in poverty, the vibration of lack may still echo within you, not because DNA has inscribed scarcity, but because the belief in scarcity remains alive in the subconscious. Genes do not dictate destiny. The emotions and beliefs you hold are what switch them on or off. If a lineage harbors hatred, the genes of disease may be activated as an echo of unresolved suffering. But when one person in the family decides to forgive, to bless, to put an end to the chain of resentment, change occurs not only in their own body, but also in generations yet to come. For the personal subconscious is always linked to the collective subconscious of the family. This is why the practice of writing letters, affirming and then burning those letters holds such power. When you sit down to write out all the anger, the unsaid words, the grievances suspended from past generations, you are allowing the subconscious to speak. When you add words of forgiveness and affirmations of life, you are inserting a new command into the stream of inheritance. And when you burn that letter, the symbolic act becomes a ritual of release, a signal to the subconscious that the old cycle has ended. Imagine a man burdened with severe arthritis. No medicine brought improvement, until during meditation he saw the image of a great-grandfather who had committed grave injustices. The story was buried, but its energy still flowed in the bloodline. When he wrote a letter to his ancestor, when he asked forgiveness and also extended forgiveness, when he burned the letter with the intent to release, his body began to respond. Within weeks, the markers of inflammation diminished. Doctors called it spontaneous remission, but in truth, he had ended an invisible, inherited command. It is crucial to understand that ritual is not superstition. It is a method of binding image, emotion, and action into a complete message sent to the subconscious. The subconscious does not distinguish between literal and symbolic. It only receives the strongest impression. And when you offer it an image of forgiveness, an affirmation of release, an act as concrete as burning, it records the new command and transmits the signal to every cell. There is an affirmation you can use in this ritual. I am the light of my lineage. All old sorrows now dissolve in love. I forgive, I release, I heal. What once bound me now becomes freedom. Asterisk, repeat this not merely with the mind, but with the heart, while envisioning light surrounding the names of your ancestors, and you are resetting a genetic program. In that moment, genes once prepared to switch on in disease are switched off. Your blood carries memory, but your blood also carries promise. You hold the power to decide what memory will be passed to future generations. If you preserve the old commands, you perpetuate the tragedy, but if you choose to live in a new vibration, your blood will carry a new belief, so that your children and their children may live freer and healthier. Spiritual law is ever clear. The past is not destiny. It is a script awaiting to be rewritten. Remember, you are not alone in this process. When you heal yourself, The roots of your family are also healed. When you release resentment, the whole family tree begins to blossom. The result appears not only in your health, but in the way you carry yourself, in the peace shining from your eyes, in the ease of restful nights. Genes are not a prison. Genes are only doors, and you hold the key. That key is belief, forgiveness, and the decision to live in the light. The invisible inheritance is not meant to imprison you, but to remind you that you can be the point of transformation. By choosing forgiveness, you turn sorrow into freedom. By rewriting the command, you turn the bloodline into a new current, and in so doing, you do not only transform yourself, you alter the very future of those yet to come. Time as the enzyme of healing. The time you measure on a clock is not always an enemy. In truth, time is shaped by your perception, and that perception determines how your body responds. When the mind is trapped in the past, you replay old wounds, and the body recreates injuries long gone. When the mind races into the future with anxiety, the body believes danger stands before you, flooding with stress hormones and accelerating the aging process. But when you place yourself wholly in the present, a miracle unfolds. The body enters a state of repair and renewal, as though each cell is granted the chance to begin again. The present moment is the enzyme of healing. Studies have shown that those who dwell in the peace of the present display stronger telomerase activity. The enzyme that protects the ends of chromosomes and slows aging. This means that when you stop fleeing the past and cease fearing the future, your body is restored to its natural mechanism of self-repair. No medicine can guarantee this effect. It is born of the state of mind you choose. The body hears the rhythm of the mind and responds with restoration. Consider this. Have you ever noticed how time flies when you are happy, but drags when you are anxious? This reveals that time is not a fixed current, but a subjective experience, and that experience can alter biology itself. People can age rapidly when they lose purpose, yet shine with youth when they rediscover passion. It is not the number of years that ages you, but the quality of the present you live. There is a simple yet powerful exercise to restore your relationship with time. Take a familiar clock and place it before you. Breathe deeply 3 times. Then pause the hands of the clock for a moment. Feel as if you have suspended the flow of external time. Then affirm with certainty, in this moment, I dwell in eternal presence. There is no age, no loss, no haste. Eternal light is renewing me. My body follows the rhythm of spirit, not the rhythm of the world. Asterisk. Hold this image for a few minutes. Imagine each cell breathing in light, every organ being cleansed and renewed. When you set the clock back in motion, know that you have planted a new command into the subconscious, that age does not condemn you, and that the present is the place of healing. Let me ask you now, are you ready to set down the burden of the past and cease the anxieties of the future, to step fully into the present? For it is in the present that you will find the energy to renew, to heal, to be reborn. If you are truly ready, write in the comments below, I am ready to change, asterisk, or simply type the number 1. That will be your declaration that you are not merely listening, but choosing to act, choosing to align with the flow of life. Thank you for being present in this moment. Your conscious presence does more than transform the mind. It sends signals into every cell, awakening within you the power of renewal that has been yours since the beginning. Harmony with nature. Your body is not a separate entity. It is forever an extension of nature. Every breath you take is a gift from countless leaves. Every drop of water you drink has traveled through rivers. Every ray of light that touches your eyes is a whisper of the universe. We often mistake ourselves as merely living in nature, yet in truth, we are nature in human form. When we forget this truth, the body falls out of rhythm, giving rise to illness, anxiety, and imbalance. When we return to nature, every system within us rediscovers its original order. Modern science calls this times forest bathing. It is not merely recreation, but a profound therapy for body and mind. As you walk among trees, hear the wind in the leaves, and inhale the fragrance of wood and earth, your body responds at once. Cortisol levels drop, the heart steadies, the immune system strengthens, trees release phytoncides, subtle airborne compounds that, when inhaled, awaken the NK cells, silent warriors that destroy bacteria and abnormal cells. Thus, nature grants you immunity without prescription. And not only phytoncides, nature surrounds you with negative ions, those tiny charged particles abundant near waterfalls, ocean shores, and forests. As you breathe them in, they enter your blood, raise serotonin, ease nervous tension, restore concentration, and lift the spirit into joy. This is no mystery. It is the simple electrobiological design of life. Each step upon the earth, each time your bare feet touch the grass, you reconnect with the electromagnetic field of the planet, allowing your nervous system to return to balance like a machine restored to its original power source. Imagine yourself walking deep into a forest. Sunlight filters through the leaves, painting the ground in shimmering patterns. You pause, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. In that moment, you are no longer a visitor of the forest. You are part of it. You breathe with the trees. Your heart beats with the rhythm of the earth. Your cells receive the message that order has been restored. This is the deepest harmony. Nature and body, no longer two, but one stream of life. To deepen this experience, you may practice a breathing exercise of green light as though you were participating in photosynthesis with the trees. Sit in a quiet place, ideally outdoors, or simply before a living plant. Close your eyes, inhale slowly through your nose. As you breathe in, visualize a fresh green light streaming into your lungs, spreading through your whole body. Feel that you are absorbing the life of earth and sky, the light cleansing every trace of fatigue and filling you with energy. Hold the breath for a moment and whisper within, I breathe in the green of life. Every cell in me is filled with strength. Asterisk. As you exhale, see all stress and anxiety leaving you as gray smoke, dissolving into space. Repeat this for 5 minutes, and you will find your spirit lighter, your body renewed as if reborn. A young professor once shared that after years of digestive trouble and stress, she found balance simply by walking each morning in the park. She left her phone behind, listened to the birds, watched the trembling leaves, and breathed as though she were part of the garden itself. She added the practice of green light breathing. Within 10 days, her body began to change, her sleep deepened, her digestion steadied, and her soul felt as though a fresh spring had begun to flow within her. This was no strange miracle, but the natural result of placing the body back into its rightful environment. Remember this, nature is not a place to escape, but the place to return. Each tree is a lung, each stream a vein, each stone a joint, all mirroring your body. To forget nature is to forget a part of yourself. To harmonize with nature is to reconnect with the hidden current that sustains life within you. Nature does not demand your belief, only your presence. A moment of stillness beneath a tree, a conscious breath by the river, a touch of earth with bare feet is enough to reset the nervous system, restore the rhythm of life, and brighten the spirit. This is the deepest medicine prepared by creation for you since the beginning. When body and nature merge as one, every worry dissolves. Every tension gives way to peace. You become a leaf that breathes, a stream that flows, a soil that nourishes, and from that state, health ceases to be a goal to chase. It becomes the natural bloom of life within you, as effortless as a tree flowering in spring. Cellular economy and material prosperity within your body, life is sustained by a biological currency called ATP. It is the energy behind every action, from the beat of your heart to the breath in your lungs, from the smallest muscular movement to the most intricate functions of your brain. When ATP circulates freely, the body thrives, the mind is clear, and the spirit expands. When that flow is blocked, fatigue, illness, and imbalance appear. This principle is the very same law that governs financial life. Money is the outer stream of energy, ATP, the inner stream of energy, and both follow a single rule. Where circulation exists, there is life. Where blockage occurs, there is decline. Observe closely. Body and finance walk together. A person who maintains rhythm in living, who honors the body, is often one who manages and grows money wisely. Conversely, inner disorder often mirrors outer chaos. It is no coincidence that times of financial stress bring sleepless nights, deals to you pain, and failing health. This is not merely psychological pressure. It is the evident law of correspondence. Cells and wallets both operate under the same truth. Prosperity is born of flow, not of frozen accumulation. A merchant once lamented to me that though his income was sufficient, he never seemed to save money, came and went without trace. I asked him, each morning, do you ever give thanks for your stomach, your liver, your blood that works in silence? He was astonished, thinking this had nothing to do with economics. Yet that is the essence. If you do not appreciate the metabolism that exchanges life within you each day, you will never truly honor and direct the flow of money. Body and finance are two sides of the same living current. Try a simple ritual. Before opening your bank account or checking your work, spend 10 minutes each morning in gratitude for your body. Thank the liver for purifying, the stomach for transforming, the heart for beating without rest, the blood for delivering life to every organ. When you honor the circulation within, you program the circulation without. When you appreciate the cycle of ATP, you align with the cycle of money. Another powerful tool is the Times Energy Flow Journal. Divide a notebook into two columns, energy and energy out. Energy in may be a night of good sleep, a clean meal, a word of encouragement. Energy out may be an hour of focused work, a wise expenditure, a kind deed. After a week, you will see clearly on days when you both receive and give. Body and finance flow with ease. On days when you only take without giving or give without receiving, the system signals distress with fatigue, irritation, or financial strain. In Scripture, there is the parable of the talents given to 3 men. The one who used them was given more. The one who buried them lost all. This is not only about money, it is the exact image of how cells operate. Each cell is entrusted with energy. If it uses, exchanges, and regenerates, it becomes stronger. If it closes off, hoards, and does not circulate, it weakens and dies. In the same way, when you circulate love, ideas, and money, you open the gates to greater prosperity. Remember, money is only condensed energy. Your body itself is condensed energy in the form of blood, bone, And flesh, the words you speak are the commands that either open or close this circulation. Each time you say, I do not have enough, the body contracts and the money flow tightens. Each time you say, I am abundant, I am grateful, both ATP and finances expand together. This is the truth of creation. This is the power of voice within, not just a voice you hear, but a space you return to. Asterisk. The inner voice is not merely sound. It is the place where you program your reality, health, and wealth alike. A middle-aged engineer once wrote to me after practicing the energy journal for 3 months. He realized that on days he spent money in fear, his stomach would ache. On days he spent with joy, his finances did not diminish but increased through unexpected opportunities. When he gave thanks for each meal and every breath, his health improved and his finances stabilized. He wrote, I understand now that I cannot separate my wallet from my heart, nor my liver from my wealth. When you begin to live by this principle, prosperity ceases to be a distant dream. It becomes the reflection of a healthy body, a natural balance between receiving and giving, between storing and circulating. You need not chase wealth, for wealth naturally comes to where flow exists. And where spiritual energy flows freely, there the body renews, finances grow, and life expands. The economy of the cell and material prosperity are not two separate paths, but one, the path of circulation, of gratitude, of awareness that every stream of energy begins within. When you align with this rhythm, health and finance become twin rivers flowing side by side, nourishing and expanding your life in the most natural and enduring way. Relationships and the resonance of the heart field, in every relationship, there flows an invisible current, more powerful than words, deeper than actions, and swifter than any thought. This is the electromagnetic field of the heart. Scientific studies have shown that the heart does more than pump blood. It radiates a magnetic field thousands of times stronger than the brain. This field extends several feet beyond the body, intermingling and directly influencing those near you. Thus, when two people meet, it is not merely the eyes or the words that touch, but the resonance of two heart fields, either in harmony or in conflict. If you have ever walked into a room where anger was present, you felt the tension even before a word was spoken. Conversely, there are people whose presence alone calms you without speech. This is the power of heart field resonance. The heart's magnetic field reflects your dominant inner emotion and broadcasts it outward, either restoring or disturbing the harmony of connection. The heart does not conceal. It is more honest than any language, and others sense it consciously or unconsciously. A man once told me that he and his wife lived under the same roof but had not spoken for months. They did not fight, yet the silence grew thicker every day. When asked, he admitted that within his mind he was continually sending thoughts of blame. Though outwardly quiet, these vibrations themselves were eroding the space between them. I told him the solution was not in persuasive words, but in changing the frequency his heart was sending. He began a simple practice I call times the twin blessing of two hearts. Each night before sleep, he placed his hand over his chest, closed his eyes, and envisioned his wife's heart before him, beating in rhythm with his own. He imagined both hearts surrounded by radiant golden light and softly affirmed, I bless my heart. It beats in peace and love. I bless her heart. It beats in understanding and healing. We are both temples of the same soul. I choose harmony. I choose love. Asterisk. He kept this practice for 21 days. Remarkably, one evening, his wife turned to him and said she felt something had changed. She could sense warmth flowing from him. They embraced without need of explanation. This was no mystical miracle. But the natural result of heart field resonance, when one person alters their frequency, the heart is the strongest bridge between human beings. When you send forgiveness, gratitude, and love from the heart, your field reorganizes itself, aligning the entire nervous system into coherence from that state. You emit a signal that others feel even from afar. This is why blessings can soften strained relationships even before direct conversation takes place. You must remember, relationships are not sustained only by memory or duty, but by the energy exchange in each moment. When you harbor resentment, your heart field becomes chaotic, pulling your biology and nervous system into disorder. But when you choose forgiveness and blessing, you restore resonance, opening the path to reconciliation and healing. None are exempt from this law, for the heart is humanity's common doorway. You can begin today. Spend a few minutes each day with your hand on your chest, feeling your heartbeat. Envision the person with whom you seek reconciliation. Instead of recalling wrongs, imagine their heart beating in rhythm with yours, enclosed in a circle of light. Whisper to yourself and to them, I bless you, I bless me. Our hearts are both temples of life. Asterisk. Hold this silence for 3 minutes. Ending with gratitude. Repeat for 1 or 2 days, and you will notice subtle yet profound change, not only in your relationship, but in your bodily state. For when the heart moves in love's rhythm, the whole biology arranges itself in highest order. Understand that heart-field resonance is not mere romance. It is where science and spirit meet. It is the natural technology of the body, gifted to us for creating harmony rather than division. When you learn to use it, every relationship can become a place of healing, every encounter a chance for rebirth. Your heart does not only sustain your life, it is a beacon radiating light into the world around you. Imagination, as the surgeon, imagination is not a child's game. It is the most intricate instrument ever entrusted to humanity. Every creation, every structure, every invention begins as an image in the mind, yet its power does not stop at reshaping the outer world. It can also recreate the inner one. Each cell listens to the images you nurture. When you imagine with heightened emotion, imagination becomes an invisible surgeon, sending biological commands that the body immediately receives and obeys. A classic study proved this truth. A group of patients with knee arthritis was divided into 3. One group underwent full surgery, another only a simple wash of the joint, and the third a sham procedure where the surgeon merely cut the skin and sewed it back without touching the inside. The results shocked the medical field. The sham surgery group recovered just as well, and in many cases even better than those who had actual operations. What healed them, it was the belief and the mental image that they had been treated. The subconscious recorded the new script and commanded the body to follow. The placebo effect is no illusion. It is living proof that imagination, fused with belief, can replace the scalpel. When a patient believes they are healed, that image is stronger than the memory of pain, and the body adjusts to the new script. This means you do not have to wait for miracles from outside. You can activate that miracle yourself through imagination. Try a simple practice. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and take 3 deep breaths. Whisper within, I am entering the inner sanctuary. Here there is no sickness, only light and restoration. Asterisk. Then focus on the part of the body you wish to heal. Observe it with imagination, free of fear. See it bathed in golden light, each cell shining, remembering its original perfect design. If it is a wound, picture it closing. If it is a weakened organ, See it functioning fully. Most important, let emotion merge with image. Feel joy as though healing has already come. Be grateful as if it is done. Hold this state for 15 minutes without letting the mind wander. Practice daily for 21 days, and you will imprint the new image upon the subconscious. Why 21 days? Because it is the minimum span for a mental habit to take root. Each repetition adds another layer of soil over the seed. Soon the new image becomes reality, for the body has no choice but to follow the strongest command issued by imagination. One patient, once diagnosed with bladder cancer, practiced this faithfully. Each night he envisioned a stream of white light entering his abdomen, dissolving abnormal cells and replacing them with fresh, bright, elastic tissue. He held the image for 20 minutes, rejoicing as if already whole. 6 weeks later, medical tests revealed remarkable remission. Doctors called it extraordinary. But for him, it was simply the body's obedience to the image planted in the subconscious. Imagination is the scalpel of the spirit. It does not cut away. It restores order. It leaves no wound. It reestablishes the original design. When you learn to wield it rightly, you become the physician of your own body. And when you know that each image joined with strong emotion is a biological command, you will no longer squander imagination on negative scripts. Instead of picturing pain, you will envision wholeness. Instead of rehearsing failure, you will see success. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and unreal. It only knows that what is repeated with faith becomes reality. Remember, every minute you spend imagining with faith is a minute rewriting your biological code. Each day you choose to hold the image of recovery rather than decline. You draw the body closer to health. When this becomes habit, imagination ceases to be a fleeting dream. It becomes an instrument of healing, creation, and transformation of reality. Imagination is the silent surgeon within you. Give it the right image, the right emotion, and it will perform its work unfailingly, without delay. As a law of nature, sound and voice as therapy from humanity's earliest days, it has been known that sound is not only for communication, but also a sacred tool for connecting with life itself. Prayer, song, chant, all are ways of bringing vibration into the body and the environment. Today, science confirms that sound is a rhythm capable of reorganizing biology, modulating the immune system and the endocrine system. When you speak with the right rhythm, tone, and frequency, the body does not only hear through the ears, it listens through the bones, the blood, every cell. Sound enters you not as an external vibration, but as an internal command. The body itself is structured in rhythm, heartbeat, breath, brain waves. When you introduce a stable sound, it becomes an axis upon which disordered rhythms find harmony again. Frequency studies show that certain ranges of sound directly affect cells and hormones. Among them, the 528 Hertz frequency, known as the DNA frequency, has been shown to aid in molecular repair. When the body is enveloped in this tone, it tends naturally toward restoring order. At the smallest level, yet you do not need machines to create healing frequencies. Your very own voice is the most powerful instrument. When you sound with awareness, you activate the body's natural resonant chambers: chest, larynx, nasal cavity, skull. Each vowel vibrates in a distinct area, stimulating corresponding glands and organs. The vowel times A resonates in heart and lungs, calming and expanding. E times touches the thyroid and frontal brain, bringing clarity. O times vibrates in stomach and pancreas, supporting digestion and metabolism. U times reaches deep into the abdomen, warming and stabilizing the reproductive system and kidneys. This is not superstition, but biological resonance. When you speak with faith and emotion, your voice becomes an instrument that reorders the body. This is why in every ancient culture, from Christian hymns to Indian mantras to folk songs, people used sound for healing. Words carry not only meaning, but rhythm and energy. When you say, "I am healthy," with a trembling voice, the body does not believe, but when you declare it with steady rhythm, resonant tone, and clear timbre, the body hears and obeys. A young artist, exhausted by insomnia and chronic stress, tried many methods without success. Then he began vowel chanting each evening. In silence, he placed his hand on his chest, closed his eyes, and slowly sounded times A, letting it vibrate through his chest, then times E, feeling it rise through his throat and brain, then times O, resonating in his belly, finally times U, sinking deep into his lower back. He repeated the cycle 3 times, each lasting about 3 minutes. After 10 days, his sleep returned, his mind was clear, and his body filled with vitality. He wrote that he had never realized his own voice could be such precious medicine. You too can practice with a simple script. Sit upright, close your eyes, and place your hand on the area you wish to focus on. Breathe slowly. Then sound the corresponding vowel, letting it penetrate that place. Accompany it with a strong affirmation. With times A, say, "My heart is filled with peace and love." Asterisk. With times E, say, "My thoughts are clear and luminous." Asterisk. With times O, say, "I digest and transform every experience into strength." Asterisk. With times U, say, "I am steady, grounded, and full of energy." Sustain each vowel for 3 minutes, feeling not only the sound leaving your lips, but the vibration echoing through the body. This is inner music, the symphony you yourself create for healing. If you persevere for 21 days, you will witness profound change, not only in health, but in emotions and mind. Your body will attune to the new frequency, and each cell will adjust its rhythm to the harmony you have planted. Sound is the invisible bridge between the seen and unseen. The voice you release is the bell that sets direction for the whole biological system. Remember, you always carry the greatest instrument, not outside, but within your chest and throat, when you use it with faith, presence, and love. Every sound you make resonates not only in the air, but in the blood, in the bones, in the mind. And when inner sound and outer sound become one, that is the moment your body returns wholly to the order of life. Lucid dreams as the night laboratory. When the body rests in sleep, the conscious mind withdraws, yet the subconscious continues its work. This is when the body undertakes its deepest repairs, regenerating tissues, balancing hormones, consolidating memory. Few realize that night is not merely a time of rest, but can become a spiritual laboratory where you imprint healing commands directly upon the subconscious. Lucid dreaming is the doorway into that realm. A lucid dream occurs when you recognize that you are dreaming within the dream itself. It is not illusion or play, but a unique state where the subconscious opens while the conscious mind remains alert. In that moment, you may introduce images and affirmations as a programmer writes code into the core system. Every word you speak, every picture you plant is recorded by the subconscious with many times the power of waking life. The mild method, or times mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, is a simple practice to enter this state. Before sleep, breathe deeply and repeat the affirmation. When I dream, I will know that I am dreaming asterisk. At the same time, visualize a familiar dream setting, perhaps a room or a garden, and picture yourself realizing within it that you are dreaming. The affirmation and image plant a seed at the boundary of conscious and subconscious. When the seed sprouts in the dream, lucidity arises. Once lucid, you need not control the storyline. Simply use the space for scientific prayer, that is, affirm and imagine with a certainty that it is happening. For example, if you seek to heal your liver, envision it glowing with green light, healthy and supple, while whispering within the dream, my liver is perfect, vibrant with life. Asterisk in this state, the critical gate of the conscious mind is silent, and the subconscious receives the command as unquestioned truth. From that truth, the body adjusts. To aid this process, keep a dream journal by your bed. Each morning, record your dreams at once. The journal should have 3 columns: symbols, organ, affirmation. In the first, note the dream images: muddy water, fire, forest. In the second, link them with the body: muddy water with the liver, fire with the nervous system, forest with the lungs. In the third, write the healing affirmation times: my liver flows like a pure river, my mind is cool, my lungs are fresh as the morning forest. Asterisk. This is not superstition, but a tool to decode subconscious messages and reprogram them with new images. One man with chronic kidney disease practiced this method. Each night he repeated, when I dream, I will know that I am dreaming. Asterisk. In his dream, he saw 2 kidneys as blue stones glowing with light. Upon waking, he wrote it down and affirmed, my kidneys shine, clean and strong. Asterisk. He persisted for 21 days, and his health markers improved significantly. Doctors could not explain it, but he knew the subconscious had been reset, and the body simply obeyed. The key is not perfect control of dreams, but entering sleep with a seed of intention. When planted with faith and feeling, the subconscious completes the work. Sleep becomes a sacred ritual, not unconscious surrender, but a gateway into yourself for repair, renewal, and healing at the root. In the stillness of night, when you whisper affirmations, remember your voice is not mere sound. It is a command sent into the blood, into the cells, into the subconscious. This is the power of voice within, not just a voice you hear, but a space you return to. Asterisk. And it is in that space that healing occurs, where time and space no longer bind you, where every image you sow becomes a seed of reality. Make dreams your night laboratory. Enter them with lucid intent, firm affirmation, and steady perseverance. After 21 days, you will notice not only your dreams transform, but also your body and waking life. For dreams are not separate from reality. They are the soil where you sow commands. And waking life is simply the harvest. Collective scars and social healing. It is not only individuals who carry scars, entire communities, nations, and even humanity itself bear the invisible imprints of collective memory. War, epidemics, economic crises, natural disasters, social injustices all leave profound marks upon the shared field of consciousness. These events, though distant in time, continue to exist as vibrations suspended in the atmosphere of spirit, shaping emotions and collective decisions across generations. If not healed, they repeat in new forms. For what is not transformed is transmitted. Modern science has begun to glimpse this connection Studies of the Schumann resonance, the Earth's natural frequency, show that the planet's electromagnetic field shifts during moments of heightened collective emotion. When humanity endures global events, terrorist attacks, earthquakes, upheavals, this frequency deviates from its base rhythm, proving that human feeling and planetary pulse are intertwined. In other words, the shared consciousness is a body, and each individual is a cell within it. If individuals can heal their wounds by altering inner imagery, then communities can reset their emotional field through collective practice. This is the essence of times zero-point liturgy, times a form of group meditation, where people simultaneously bring the mind into neutrality. No judgment, no expectation, no attachment in 0 point. Individuals suspend the stream of personal history. Communities lay aside memory and anxiety, and the collective field is drawn back to origin, to the place where no fracture remains, where energy can be restructured. Picture a circle of people, eyes closed, breathing slowly together. They envision the earth as a living body scarred by wars, scarred lands, cities straining beneath smoke, yet they look with compassion, not judgment. In silence, each one affirms, the body of humanity is my body. Where there is pain, I plant light. Where there is hatred, I plant forgiveness. Where there is fear, I plant peace. Asterisk. When these words are spoken in unison, they merge into one vibration, saturating the shared field of consciousness like electric currents reshaping a system. This practice has tangible as well as spiritual impact. Instruments measuring electromagnetic waves have recorded anomalies during global prayers and large-scale meditations. Such evidence affirms that collective thought impresses itself upon the planet's energy field. An individual sitting in silence can heal themselves, but when hundreds or thousands align, their power multiplies, creating resonance strong enough to dissolve fragments of emotion stuck in the collective field. Collective scars may be the memory of war keeping a nation tense, the echo of poverty causing descendants to live in anxiety, or the shadow of disease leaving a society in fear. But when a community chooses to look again and send new images, memory ceases to be a chain and becomes a teacher. Collective forgiveness is not forgetting, but rewriting the energy attached to the past. We cannot change events that occurred, but we can change the spiritual meaning we assign to them. You can join in this social healing, even alone. Sit in silence, imagine the world as a breathing body, and send clear affirmations. Envision ruined lands filled with green forests. Envision once divided people clasping hands. Envision children laughing in peace. These images, nourished by emotion and repetition, not only transform you, but merge into the collective field, contributing to communal renewal. This is no fantasy. It is the natural law of resonance. When one instrument sounds, others tuned to the same frequency vibrate as well. When one mind resonates with forgiveness and love, others are unconsciously influenced. When groups practice together, the effect extends even to those absent, for the shared field of consciousness knows no borders. Collective scars endure only when we cling to them as identity. When we release them, memory becomes seed for renewal. When a community chooses 0 point, that presence untouched by past or future, a new current begins. That is when society enters healing. Remember, you are not merely an individual, you are a cell in the body of humanity. Every thought, every word, every feeling you release shapes the collective field. If you choose to live in forgiveness, peace, and light, you offer the greatest gift to society, the gift of renewal. For when one mind is healed, the world itself is lightened of its burden. The biolaser path and inner light within your body flows more than blood and electricity. There is also light. Each cell emits tiny particles of brightness, called times biophotons, like little lamps, keeping the body in order. These are not metaphors, but scientific realities, recorded as signals that organize tissues, transmit information, and sustain life. When inner light is abundant and harmonized, the body enters restoration. When that light is blocked, disorder and illness appear. In truth, you are not merely matter, you are a conscious field of light. And when you learn to awaken this light, you activate the biolaser pathway within. The wonder is that you need no expensive medical device to ignite this inner brilliance. Consciousness, imagination, and affirmation are enough to reorganize the body's electromagnetic field. When you visualize light streaming through your form, the subconscious accepts it as reality, and the body responds. Cells rearrange their rhythms like an orchestra finding its conductor again. Those who practice consistently discover that by cultivating images of inner radiance, they feel warmth, clarity, and gradual release from disease. One of the most powerful exercises is times the inner sun. Practice it early in the morning, when the body is soft from sleep and the mind has not yet been clouded by anxiety. Sit still, spine straight, eyes gently closed. Take 3 deep breaths. Then imagine a radiant sun rising within your chest. Let its light spread through lungs, heart, liver, kidneys, bones, and blood. Feel each cell as a mirror reflecting that brilliance. Wherever the light flows, it leaves transparency, purity, and vitality. Then whisper the affirmation, I am the source of light. Every cell in me shines with perfect order. Asterisk, continue for 10 to 15 minutes. When you open your eyes, the outer world will seem brighter, for the inner sun has been awakened. A businessman once overwhelmed by stress and chronic digestive illness shared his experience. After years of ineffective medication, he began practicing the inner sun. At dawn, each morning he visualized his abdomen as a crystal tube with streams of green and golden light flowing through, cleansing every blockage. After just 3 weeks, his digestion stabilized, his mood lifted, and his creativity at work surged. He confessed that he had never truly believed in light until his own body bore witness. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt light within your body? Have you ever sat in silence to sense the radiance of your own heart? Instead of only seeking light in the sky, if you were to close your eyes today, you would discover that the sun you search for has never left it, burns within every cell. I invite you to pause and answer this quietly within. Are you ready to see yourself as a being of light and not merely as flesh? If you are still listening, I thank you. Your presence itself is proof that this light is awakening. The secret of the inner biolaser does not lie in complex technique, but in persistence and faith. Light responds to thought, and thought directs light to where healing is needed. When you focus light upon the liver becomes a beacon. When you direct it to the joints, they are mended. When you envision your whole body aglow, you are restructuring the electromagnetic field that surrounds you. This is no illusion, but a form of light therapy already encoded within you by nature. Treat every morning as a sacred ritual. When the first rays of the outer sun touch the earth, kindle the inner sun and merge the two. From this harmony, the body finds coherence. The mind becomes lucid. and life falls back into order. For light not only heals the body, it reorganizes the soul, washing away fatigue and opening the wellspring of joy. If you persevere, you will find that inner light is not medicine for you alone. When you enter a room radiant within, others feel its warmth like stepping into sunlight. The light of one heart can awaken the light of many, and that is the greatest gift you can offer the world. The inner child code, deep within every human being lies a primal part that has never been lost. The inner child, it is untouched by time, unclouded by age. This child carries astonishing capacities, natralioi, and the power of renewal that you once knew in your earliest years. As you grew, layers of duty, worry, and rigidity covered it, but that does not mean the source code was erased. It merely sleeps, awaiting its awakening. And when you reopen this door, body and mind immediately receive a new stream of energy, what science calls the activation of dopamine and BDNF, two vital keys for neurogenesis and emotional restoration. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter of motivation and delight. BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, is the protein that nourishes neurons, sparks new connections, and shields the brain from decay. When you laugh, when you play, when you allow yourself to marvel at something small, dopamine and BDNF surge. In that instant, the brain enters a state of learning, creativity, and healing. Joy, therefore, is not a luxury, it is medicine for the nervous system. The inner child does not need a reason for happiness. It finds wonder in a ball, in the sound of rain, in a leaf spinning through the air. The miracle is that you can reactivate this code even in the pressure of adult life. By deliberately creating short moments of play, you unlock a forgotten neural system. And when this repeats, drop by drop, joy accumulates into profound transformation across the entire nervous field. One simple yet powerful technique is the times 1 minute joy practice. Each hour, the principle is clear. Every 60 minutes, pause completely and give yourself 1 minute to awaken innocence. Laugh loudly for no reason. Dance a few random steps. Say a silly word in a funny voice, or simply doodle on paper. The action itself matters less than the state of mind. It stirs in that single minute. Your brain records that life is not only stress, it is also play. These micro shifts accumulate in astonishing ways. An engineer once drained by years of high-pressure work tried this method. He set an hourly alarm, and when it rang, he would smile wide, clap his hands, breathe deeply, and relax. Just 1 minute, then back to work. After 2 weeks, his mood grew lighter, his memory sharper, and his sleep deeper. He described it as though his brain had been watered regularly, becoming fresh and creative again. The strength of this practice lies in interrupting the cycle of chronic stress. Prolonged strain locks the brain into constant alarm, saturating it with cortisol, which blocks regeneration. But when you insert a minute of joy, cortisol falls, dopamine recesses, BDNF awakens, and the nervous system swiftly finds balance. Though small, the repetition reshapes the brain into fertile soil where healthy neural pathways grow in place of the old tracks of anxiety. The inner child brings not only joy but healing. When you let yourself be astonished by beauty, by the miracle of a moment, your biology expands. This expansion strengthens immunity, steadies the heart, and clears the soul. Thus, restoring the inner child code is not nostalgia. It is a spiritual strategy for living healthy and creative. Now, imagine pausing 12 to 15 times each day to laugh to play, to marvel. You would plant dozens of joy seeds in your brain. Each seed would root, release energy, and weave a new network of life. After a day, you would feel lighter. After a week, your vitality would increase. After a month, you would notice you have become someone new, more creative, more loving, more resilient. The inner child is the mirror of your true essence. It reminds you that you were not born only to work, to worry, to endure, but to live fully. Each time you give yourself a minute of joy, you open the door for that essence to return. And it is this essence that heals, where medicine cannot. Joy, laughter, wonder, these are the languages the body understands. The commands the subconscious obeys. When you restore this language to daily life, you do more than heal yourself. You release a wave of renewal into the world around you. The pineal gland is the holy grail in vision, hidden deep in the brain center, small yet mighty. The pineal gland has long been regarded as the holy grail of the spirit, the bridge between body and higher vision. Science names it the factory of melatonin, the hormone that governs sleep and circadian rhythm, yet its role stretches far beyond. In rare moments, the pineal can release endogenous DMT, a molecule that lifts consciousness into expanded vision, awakening intuition, prophetic dreams, and the felt sense of union with the whole. This is not mysticism, but a natural mechanism arising when mind and body move into harmony. What is striking is the pineal gland sensitivity to light, not only to the physical light outside, but to the spiritual light. You imagine before dawn, when the sky is still dark, melatonin peaks, the critical mind grows weary, and the subconscious opens like a door. This is the window of intuition. When prayer and mental imagery are imprinted most easily in the depths, it is no accident that prophets, sages, and mystics chose the early hours for meditation and prayer. At that hour, the pineal acts like an antenna, receiving subtle frequencies and translating them into images, insights, and unmistakable guidance. A simple ritual can transform the pre-dawn hour into a corridor of vision. Sit still in darkness, spine straight, breathe deeply 3 times. Place your awareness at the center of your brow and imagine a tiny spark flashing within the brain center. Whisper the mantra, light before the sun, awaken me from within, asterisk. See the spark expand, filling the head, then flowing into the heart, then throughout the body in the silence. Sustain this presence for a few minutes, and you will receive images, ideas, or impressions that do not come from ordinary thought, but from a deeper layer. This is the pineal opening the channel of intuition. One therapist practiced this ritual for 21 days. In dreams, he began to see the hidden pains of his patients before they surfaced, allowing him to guide their healing more directly. This was no occult prophecy, but sharpened intuition awakened as the pineal was nourished by light and focus. When melatonin balances and endogenous DMT is released, the brain shifts into a receptive mode, letting us perceive beyond the veil of reason. The key is not to expect hallucinations, but to learn the subtle language within. Each image you glimpse, each whisper you sense in the dark is a reflection of inner wisdom. When received with humility, they become priceless guidance. This is why the pineal is called the Holy Grail. It holds the light of intuition, not in an external vessel, but within you. Remember, the voice you utter in the ritual is not just sound, it is vibration, awakening the pineal, command etched into the subconscious. This is the power of voice within, not just a voice you hear, but a space you return to. Asterisk. When you return to that space, you rediscover the center of clarity, where decisions are illuminated, where guidance flows beyond ordinary thought. The pineal gland is no distant symbol. It is a living structure within you, a small lantern waiting to be lit. By devoting a few minutes each morning to awaken its light, you not only prepare for the day you enter the current of vision and intuition, you will notice that difficult choices ease, creativity flows more freely, and faith in your path strengthens. For when the Holy Grail is opened, you no longer walk alone. You walk with the light ever shining within your own soul. Spirit beyond matter. Fasting and thermogenesis. The body is often regarded as a machine wholly dependent upon food and external environment. Yet beneath these limits lies a capacity few dare believe. The spirit can command what seem to be unbreakable laws of biology. Time and again, human beings have shown that consciousness does not merely react to the body, it governs it. History recalls mystics who lived for long periods sustained only by water, or who walked upon snow while their bodies radiated heat. Once dismissed as myth, these accounts gained credibility when scientific studies of Tibetan monks practicing Tummo times, revealed the truth. Through breathing and visualization, the body can generate heat strong enough to dry wet cloths in freezing air. This unveils a powerful truth where the mind directs, the body obeys. Tummo is not magic, but the marriage of visualization and breath. By focusing on an inner flame at the navel while engaging in deep inhalations and breath retention, the body responds with measurable thermogenesis. Researchers observed practitioners raising their body temperature despite icy surroundings. This confirms that mental imagery can penetrate physiology, reshaping not only emotions but the very state of the body. In the same way, short, conscious fasting awakens the body's self-sustaining capacities, leading to repair and regeneration. Yet it must be emphasized, extreme experimentation is never wise. The body must be guided with safety and reverence. Fasting is not punishment, but an opening for the body's natural healing. Thermogenesis is not a trial of limits, but a reminder of the inner fire, always present, approached with respect. Both fasting and tummo become